welcome to Sunday webinar of Eduverate Kids. Today we are going to talk about one of the favorite areas of children, and most of the children, they grow up watching various cartoon serials of their likings from their childhood. But as parents and teachers, we often forget what amount of impact these cartoon characters or the cartoon serials have on the life of the children. We do not give importance or we do not pay attention to that. But the fact is, this cartoon shows has a great impact on the language skill of the child when they grow up. So today we are going to discuss very quickly that how this cartoon show has impact on the overall language skill development of the child. So this topic we have given a title, Do Not Let Your Child Enjoy Cartoon Alone. And while we take you through the whole presentation, then you will come to know that why it is not advisable for the children to watch cartoon alone. If you look, the cartoons are the great way of developing the cognitive skill of the children. As we know that cartoon is filled up with voice, then a lot of colorful things, a character with a lot of humorous things involved in it. A research by Michigan University recently found that the children are positively impacted by the cartoon content than the traditional method of teaching in a classroom setting. Then, as I said, there are videos, there are audio and various color combination that helps the child observe the information portrayed through these cartoon characters much better than the way the teacher communicates that in a normal classroom setting. So therefore, if you look in a nutshell how the cartoon characters or the cartoon serials impact the child's overall skill development, cartoons, they lead to sense of humor. As we understand, most of the cartoons, they have been created. Any cartoon serials, either you talk of Doraemon, you talk of Chota Bheem, any sort of cartoon characters or serials, they are created basically to improve the sense of humor. So when cartoon serials are seen by the child, then their sense of humor is bound to grow, and this leads to a better socialization skill. This is number one, which helps the child to gain the socialization skill. Then number two is that cartoons, when it's seen by the child, then it leads to lot of laughter. There are no children who never laugh by looking to cartoon serials. So cartoons are meant for laughter, and when there is a lot of laughter created, that leads to better emotional skill. If a child communicates something with laughter, or a lot of laughter is there in a child, then their emotional skill is bound to be better up. So if you look these two things, cartoons lead to socialization skill and cartoons lead to better emotional skills. There is a research not in India but in United States of America. What they found, the children between 2 to 5 years, they spent on an average of 32 hours by watching cartoon serials in television or in other audio-visual medium of entertainment. So when 32 hours is spent for children below 5 years, it's a significant amount of time. And when this significant amount of time is spent on watching cartoon, then it must be having a great impact on their overall skill. Now, if you look, the behavioral pattern or behavioral change of the children cartoons impact 60% of the behavioral change in the child. Similarly, if we look to the psychological effect, that means any cartoon character having some kind of impact psychologically on the child's behavior, that is around 75%. So 60% of children are having some behavioral change due to watching cartoon, and 75% children with some psychological effect after watching the cartoon. Therefore, we know this huge amount of impact is created by this cartoon. Now, if the child will be watching, or the child let the child watch the characters or cartoon contents which has got lot of positivity in it, then it will be having impact on the behavior and psychological effect positively. On the other hand, if the cartoon characters portray some kind of negative character, then similarly, as I say, as we understood, 60% of the behavioral change and 75% of the psychological impact would be changed by the type of cartoon character is watched by the children. So based on that, negative and positive impact will also be created in the child based on their content of the cartoon serials. Now, in the developmental stage, the child needs basic cognitive skill to communicate the joke. As we have already discussed in many forums, that a child whose humorous skill is better, then their overall skill as well as communication skill is stronger as compared to other children. Therefore, when the child grows up, they need some basic cognitive skill to communicate the joke. And laughing is a communication medium. When the child laughs, that means they try to communicate something, although they are not able to speak out, but through the laughing, when they understand or take some joke internalized, they laugh loudly. So laughing is a communication medium. Kids learn to laugh before they actually talk. Thus, laughing is a good communication tool. Those kids who learn to laugh loudly, their communication skill are comparatively better. Now, there was a research done to understand what happens to a child who enjoys the cartoon alone, and those children who enjoy cartoon in a group. Group meaning either with a group of children, a group of peers of their own age, or along with their family members. Then what happens in terms of overall skill development? So the research found that those children who watch cartoon along with others, then they laugh 8 times more than those children who watch cartoon alone. And when we have already established that laughing is a communication medium, and through laugh child would communicate something, and when a child is laughing 8 times more by watching cartoon with somebody else, then this shows watching cartoon with others improves communication skill 8 times more than a child who watches the cartoon alone. Therefore, it is very, very important for the teachers as well as parents to ensure the child is allowed to watch any cartoon character along with somebody. So by allowing this simple step, we are making our child more effective in terms of communication as well as socialization skill. Now, there are a few things to remember. Spending time in watching funny cartoon is always good for the child's cognitive development process. So we, as parents and teachers, must encourage the children to watch some positive cartoon serials. It's always good for the cognitive development process. Then watching cartoon has an impact on the psychological and behavioral changes of the children. As we know that as much as 60% of the behavioral change and 75% of the psychological change happens due to the impact of cartoon serials on the child. Then third thing to remember is that ensure that the children are provided with positive and skill-based cartoon to watch, irrespective, in spite of providing any cartoon serial for the child to watch. If the parents or teachers can create or can pick up some positive and skill-based cartoon characters to watch, then this will be much better for the child to grow their skill in a very positive manner. Parents may reinforce the learning in the child by repeating the talking about the good move by the cartoon characters. And this is very important when the child is watching along with other family members or any other members uh, uh, for a particular cartoon serial. Then the child automatically communicates by laughing. This is one good thing that we have already discussed. Second good thing is that if the family members can initiate some dialogue after a good move by the cartoon character, then there will be an automatic reinforcement on the child that this particular good move can be inculcated by the child, and that remains as a part of the behavior of the child. So it's very easy and it's very important for the parents to reinforce that particular good move at that point of time when the whole family member is enjoying the cartoon show. And last thing to remember is that ensure that the child is accompanied by the other kids or parents themselves while watching the cartoon. As we said that the child always try to communicate when something is being watched, and if there are other members, the research says that the child would like to laugh more, and when the laughing is more, that means that child communication skill in future will be definitely better off as compared to other children. So these are the 5 things we have to remember, and it's a very simple trick that instead of allowing the child to watch cartoon alone, it's always better that child will be allowed to watch the cartoon with some other kids or by some other family members. That way it's going to be much better language and socialization skill in the future. And EduVarit Kids has been doing a lot of research in this fashion, small step that will make the child much better and much effective in future. Thank you so much for your patience hearing, and we'll be looking forward to interact with you in future. And if you have any specific query, then please write to us at kids.edubarate@gmail.com, or you can WhatsApp or call us at this number 9168924064. Thank you so much